All right, Texas A&M at LSU. Final score in Death Valley was 49-25. That rolls off my tongue like music. Gosh, I wish we could just talk about this game all night, but we'll try to keep it pretty brief. This game got Brian Kelly fired, as we know at this point. I think we'll probably be releasing this probably on a Wednesday. So he was fired as of Sunday afternoon. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was maybe. I think it was Sunday night. It was around like
Sunday night.
7 to 8 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I saw the rumblings kind of stirring up, and I figured what was going to happen was going to happen, and sure enough, it did. We've been talking about this on the pod for the past couple of weeks. Just when it got to the boiling point with them losing to Ole Miss, and possibly being overrated, people started to catch on. They're like, okay, we might want to start recalculating here, like what this could look like if he starts losing games. And we were on that. I saw more games being lost in the future. There are a lot of other people who kind of called that, like, yeah, LSU's not done losing games. Sure enough, they go into Nashville and they drop that one. That was what kind of started to get the pot boiling
That
over.
started the slide to where we are now.
Yeah, and really, I think that was the catalyst of it all because this game was, I don't really think at any point ever going to be won by LSU. They were not the better team really in any stage of the game. Maybe in the secondary they had A&M beat. That's probably it. I just don't see a scenario where A&M loses this game if they play it nine more times. Maybe there's one.
No, I mean the fact that A&M had two just fatal turnovers in the first half, and they were only down 18-14, I think it was. Were
Yeah,
they? They were.
18 to 14
LSU
at
was
half.
winning at halftime. Yeah, like and they came out and played clean in the second half. A&M did and just dominated. And if you take away those two mistakes they made in the first half, this might have been just a massacre the whole time. But yeah, A&M just a much better team than LSU. And I kind of feel like I saw this coming from LSU. Maybe not Brian Kelly getting fired and all that, but after watching two games of theirs, like I saw them against Clemson, thought they were good after that, and then Clemson kind of exposed themselves, and then LSU showed that their offense wasn't great in their next game, and I was kind of like, I don't know about this team anymore. I don't really trust them, and they've just fallen off a cliff since then, losing in any game that was supposed to be a close one for them.
Yeah, I mean, watching them play against Southeastern Louisiana and Louisiana Tech and be as lackluster as they were, and I know they put up 56 against CeeLo, but I just, that whole first half just felt gross
They had
watching
like
it.
3 yards per carry or something against them. Like that's just
4 or 5 yards per play. They were just dinking and dunking down the field. I was like, this team can't push the ball down the field against freaking Sela. Like, what are they going to do when they get to SEC play? I guess we were going to find out, and we sure enough did. The next week after their bye, when they come to Oxford, I mean, yeah, they had a couple of complete coverage bust plays. Like that play to Xavier Thomas was just, it should have been a hospital ball. He ends up breaking away for a big play.
that's their whole offense though, is really
Yeah,
just those big pop plays and like
happened against
that's it.
Vanderbilt. He threw a duck, complete garbage throw to same guy, Xavier Thomas, and he takes it to the house. Does all the work. Garrett Nussmeier single-handedly handicapped this team with his inability to move the ball with his legs and move in the pocket. He's a sitting duck back there. And I felt terrible about this game solely because of Cassius Howell. I think he's got 10.5 sacks on the season after this game. That dude was living in the backfield in this game. Whether he got as many sacks and TFLs as I think he did, just felt like he had a ton. It was the presence of knowing that he was going to be there the whole game. Garrett Nussmeier never was comfortable. He never had a chance in this game to be comfortable. And I mean, it was just, it was ugly. At any point in this game, even when LSU was leading, I never felt like they were going to win. Even with the
No, I
4 point
mean
lead at half, I felt like they were still going to lose.
just their lead was really only built up on A&M mistakes, and once A&M stopped supplying them with those mistakes, it was A&M's
Yeah,
game.
two interceptions in the first half and a blocked punt for a safety, and they're only up 4, 18-14, which is literally like that's the final score they wanted in the game.
Yeah.
LSU would have been so okay if it was 18-14 final, but when you're playing a team like A&M, if you can hold them to less than 28 points, that should be a victory in of itself. Casey Concepcion had another great game with 2 touchdowns, one special teams touchdown, and then Marcel Reed had over 100 rushing yards in this game, terrorizing LSU's defense another season in a row. I'm sure that that coaching staff did not look forward to seeing him on the field again this year, but Texas A&M took over that stadium after the game. I don't know if you saw the footage
I
of
saw
the
it.
fans and the team and the coaching staff. The whole stadium got emptied. All the LSU fans left by the end of the fourth quarter with time still on the clock, and they were doing all their chants and their fight songs, and there was not a purple or gold or white jersey or really anything like that in the stadium that even resembled it being the home of the LSU Tigers. It looked like it could have been College Station if you painted it maroon. So it was pretty neat. I've never seen Death Valley look that dead. So if I ever get to a point where I need to see LSU lose and they're playing really good football again, I'll just go rewatch that game because it was pretty fun for me. But Brian Kelly gets fired. LSU's in the pits right now. I don't know how they're going to respond. I don't know how you do respond at this point. Um, the coaching staff, I don't know who's going to get retained and who's not. That'll all depend on who gets hired there. So much speculation on what their options are right now. I'm hearing people say that they're trying to push Nick Saban back out of retirement.
Not
That's
happening.
BS. It's not going to happen. He has nothing to prove. I don't think there's an amount of money in the world that Nick Saban needs to go back and try to convince 17-year-olds that $1 million is enough money for them to come play for Nick Saban.
I think he left college football because of the direction he saw it going.
And
So why would he want to jump back in now
I
when it's
agree.
accelerated even more since he left?
He proved everything he needed to prove as it was, winning a national championship at LSU and then winning like six at Alabama. I don't know why on earth you would want to come back to a sport that's changed from when you were in your prime and coached the way that you used to coach with your process. The process has changed, and Nick Saban does not enjoy the process. So why on earth would he come back? There's no amount of money that can force you to do something that you don't love anymore. And I say that's probably not fair. There definitely is an amount of money, but in this scenario, when you already have it like Nick does, I don't know why you would come back. I just think that he's sick of trying to convince players that they need $1 million to go play for him. That's stupid. I mean, and yeah, in the old college football, there was definitely an underbelly. There was money getting passed around. That's for sure. But Nick Saban didn't have to convince every single 3 and 4 star recruit that came into his building on a visit that he could give them enough money for them to stay for a year. It's ridiculous. That's just where we are with college football. I don't think he cares for it. I think that they have a better chance of getting Lane Kiffin than they do Nick Saban for sure, because Nick Saban is retired. He's not coming back. Lane Kiffin, at the same time, I'm very conflicted. I don't know how I feel about this as an Ole Miss fan that he's being talked about as much as he is, but I don't think that LSU fans should be as confident as they're being about getting him. I think they pretty much already assumed that when the season's over, he'll be the head coach of Baton Rouge. I don't know that it's that cut and dry.
And Florida's thinking the same thing too.
Well,
Like
it's
you got
just
two
little
fan
brother at
bases.
this point of
Florida's been
LSU.
doing this for like a couple years though. It's just comical, like the stuff I
Yeah,
see from their fan base. Like they just have to be trolling or rage baiting. It's just terrible.
it's bad. I mean, first it was Auburn, and Lane Kiffin turned them down. I think that Florida never really had a chance. As soon as LSU opened up, I think that that is the only one that was going to get considered. Unless Alabama magically fired Kalen DeBoer, I don't think that Lane Kiffin was going to look at another job. So, with that being said, I think that conversation will probably be visited in the offseason or after Ole Miss makes their exit from the playoffs. So, we will revisit that. That's going to be an interesting storyline to follow. Hopefully, Ole Miss as a whole can stay locked in and not get distracted by the noise and maybe make a run at the playoffs and not choke away a completely favored remaining schedule. So, that'll do it for the LSU A&M recap.